that can be in even the most legendary figure.
It really does make you think, right? Like, okay, so we're diving into a book today, Jasmine Mas's Bonds of Hercules.
Yeah.
It's the second in her Villains of Lore series, and we're looking at something a little different, right?
Very different.
This is Hercules, but not the Hercules we're used to. This is dark fantasy reimagining Greek mythology. And you wanted to get a sense of, what makes this darker Hercules tick.
Exactly.
So let's dive right in.
Well, first thing that you notice with this book is that it's Hercules, but he's not the glorious strong man that we know. He is very much an anti-hero. A tormented warrior, really driven by rage and a thirst for vengeance. And he's been stripped of his godlike status. So it's really interesting right from the start that we flip this heroic narrative that we know and love on its head.
Yeah, and to add to that, right, like the world that he lives in is equally as brutal, right? It's like it's gods manipulating mortals, these terrifying monsters roaming around, and backstabbing is just like commonplace.
Right. It's a grim setting for sure. It's unforgiving.
So like given all this stuff going on, right, like what are some of the core conflicts that Hercules is kind of facing in this book? Because it sounds like it's not just, fighting a Hydra or whatever.
Right. It's multi-layered. That's what's really interesting.
Right.
He is battling vengeful deities. He is fighting rival warriors. But at the same time, he's fighting his own inner demons and this monstrous nature that he has.
Yeah.
So it really poses this question of, can you even strive for redemption in a world like that when you're constantly at war with yourself and everybody else?
It's interesting, too, because it touches on themes that I feel like are always popular, right? Like this idea of power, redemption.
Yes.
Obviously very, very key to the Hercules myth, but also like this idea of what is the cost of immortality in a world that is so bleak?
It's interesting because you're getting these themes, but within this new lens of Greek mythology, and you're kind of forced to think about things like, can power be used justly when the gods themselves are not these perfect beings? Is destiny a thing that you can escape? Or is there choice and change, even for somebody like Hercules, who's been, burdened with so much?
Yeah.
And is living forever a gift? Or is it actually a torment?
So when I look at this, right, I immediately think of like, okay, this is like a dark, gritty take on something we all know.
Yeah.
And that's the hook, right? That's what makes it interesting.
Absolutely it is. And what it does is it forces us to look at the way we tell stories.
Yeah.
And who we see as heroes. It challenges this traditional narrative that we've grown up with.
And I mean, like reading this, right, it sounds like there's no like clear hero or villain.
No.
It's like everyone's kind of doing stuff for their own reasons.
Yeah, everyone's morally gray.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the narrative, I think, so compelling. Because it feels real. And it forces you to look past this superficial look at these characters and really question everybody's motives.
And I'm sure there's a lot of action in this book too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because we're talking about Hercules.
You've got your epic battles.
Yeah.
You've got dark magic, divine curses, even monstrous transformations. So it's a very visceral experience, I think. But, the violence and magic in this context probably carry a lot more weight than in, a traditional fantasy novel because the world is so grim.
And the author's also like expanded the lore, it seems like. She's introducing new gods and creatures and kingdoms, which I feel like, fantasy fans always eat that stuff up.
Yeah. When you're expanding on mythology, she's doing a lot more than just retelling these familiar stories.
Yeah.
There's new power dynamics. There's new societal structures within, this already established framework.
And it sounds like it's not just all about the monsters and the battles, because we are talking about Hercules, and I'm sure she's exploring his trauma, his rage, like his struggle to even figure out like who he is in all this chaos.
Well, and that's the thing about an anti-hero, is the reason why they work is because they're human and they're flawed. And when you look at that and you look at the pain and you understand his motivations, even if you don't agree with his choices, you connect with that character so much more.
So who would you say this book is for? Like, who should be picking this up? Because I know in the text they were making some comparisons.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So if you love the Song of Achilles, but you want something a bit grittier, or you enjoyed the Poppy War, but you want a mythological setting, then this is absolutely the book for you.
And then just quickly for our collector friends out there, there is a deluxe limited edition with bonus content like deleted scenes and author insights. So
always exciting for those real fans.
So what it sounds like we have here is a very dark, complex, action-packed story
Yes.
that takes this classic myth and flips it on its head, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's really centered on this flawed protagonist trying to navigate this world that is so brutal and unforgiving. And what I think is so interesting about it is that it's a real subversion of this traditional hero. You know, it makes you think about the darkness that can be in even the most legendary figure.
It really does make you think, right? Like, how does reimagining these heroes that we think we know as these anti-heroes, how does that change, like, how we think about power and fate and good and evil? And, like, what does that tell us about the kinds of stories that we tell and the characters that we choose to look up to?
Absolutely.
It's a lot to think about and a lot to unpack after reading this book. So if you're looking for something that's going to kind of challenge your ideas of heroes and mythology, definitely check this one out.
Definitely would recommend it.
Thanks for joining me on the deep dive.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Grab Bonds of Hercules Deluxe Limited Edition by Jasmine Mas, now on sale for $21.95. Don't miss this chance to build good habit and achieve remarkable results. Buy now, today.
Like and subscribe for more Bookhaven podcasts.